Hello. I know it's been a hot minute since I've taped video. It's been a rough few days, really rough. So bear with me here as I bring one chapter to close. I've talked about caregiving and the financial, the medical, and all of that. And the last few days have been actually traumatic, honestly. You would think that when you know that someone is at the end, that it wouldn't be so hard. Now, I could show clips, but it would be really disturbing of some of the stuff that she went through that she should not have gone through. And I think that's what upsets me the most is having been a witness to the discomfort, or I don't know what to call it, but it was not good. And to see somebody in that state or that condition is traumatic for everybody, including obviously them, especially when you don't know. And I'm not going to reveal a lot of detail. I'm not going to. This is. I brush my hair as kind of like it's a habit. It's just to calm down. Anyway, I am not going to post details of certain things that happened and that went on because I don't want to get in trouble and be accused of slander. Uh, all I know is things were not good. Things did not take place the way they were supposed to. It was February 15th. Thankfully, when the hospice nurse got there, she advocated on our behalf for my aunt to go to the hospital because it was not a good situation. And so I think that she wanted to go to the hospital. I mean, at this point, you can't communicate with her. Not making any sense. She was screaming, you know, arms going everywhere. It was not good. But, and to have to see that for hours, to see her suffer. But long story short, the ambulance did come, and as soon as the ambulance came, she seemed to calm down, like she knew. My daughter was there, and I was there. So I rode in the ambulance, and we went to Troy Beaumont. And my daughter met us there. I wasn't. I may not be making sense at this point. I thought I could do this because I keep telling myself she was 93 and a half. She lived a good life. She was not living the quality life anymore. So this is a good thing. Oh boy. Okay. But anyway, when the ambulance came and she seemed to have calmed down, now she became non responsive, not opening her eyes. She did a couple of times in the last person that she saw was my daughter, which was a good thing. When the ambulance came to get my aunt, she seemed to have calmed down some. And then they got her in the ambulance and she calmed down even more. Of course, they gave her 10 liters of oxygen. They did things for her, obviously, that the assisted living place couldn't. I honestly believe, now I'm going to make a correction here, is it was Friday the 14th that all this happened. I got confused on the dates because we actually, when the ambulance took her, we spent the night. We were not going to leave her. My daughter, I was not going to leave my daughter. You know, so we ended up staying the whole night and waited for the hospice people to come to talk to us. So she went from emergency to the fourth floor into a room. And they were really awesome about trying to do things not to mess up the insurance because of the fact that she was on hospice. It's complicated, but I really am thankful for that. And I do want to get a hold of the hospice company that we went through because I want to reach out to them. They were wonderful, and especially the girl that advocated for us. So anyway, we were asking a lot of questions, being that she was so unresponsive, and her breathing and just different things that were happening. And my daughter was looking up, like, the end of life signs, what to look for, things that happen when you're dying. So they were taking her up to the fifth floor, which is kind of like an ICU area. And they go up there because it is so nice. I mean, because you can spend time alone. You get a private room. It's really nice. And then it's just, they were amazing. But they would come in and talk to us and answer any questions, try to explain what's taking place and different things like that. Her kidneys shutting down and things that are happening to the body. And it's definitely not a pleasant thing to have to go through and endure. My heart goes out to people that have loved ones that are in that situation, whether it be cancer, whether it be Alzheimer's, whatever the case is, that they're near end life. It's not at all easy. There's just no, and it just makes me wonder or think about dying with dignity. I don't know. Again, I know assisted suicide is a sin, but I'll tell you what, when you go through certain things, my uncle, I don't know if you can hear it, my uncle has the TV on really, really loud, and it's like annoying sound. I don't know if he's watching something about trains, engines. He'll watch things, and it's just noise, machinery running. So she went in on the 14th, which is Valentine's Day, obviously. So we'll always remember that's when she went into the hospital. And she actually died on the 15th. And I mean, because we were sitting there and like my daughter was just watching her so close. And I mean, I don't like staring at somebody, but I get it. She was watching her breathing and stuff. And I mean, I'd go over and look and stuff, but I didn't I don't know if that makes me a bad person, but my daughter said something to me like, I don't know, something had to do with how many. It was a long time before she actually took a breath or something. So I went over there and I was watching her and I said, she's gone. And so I went out there and I said, I need you guys in here. I think she's gone. And they came in and they did time of death. And I had to sign some paperwork so they could do what they had to do. And then I called the funeral home and let them know so they could do what they had to do. And they just, they told us, take our time if we want to, just be with her for a little bit. I left my daughter alone with her because she wanted to be alone. And I'm like, and she's like, do you have anything you want to say to her? And I'm like, what am I going to say? Excuse me as being rude, but she's dead. She's not going to hear what I have to say. But I felt bad about that. So then we were talking about, some things that we want to put in the casket. So I went and took care of that today, today is Sunday. Went to the funeral home and, got that all. It's going to be around $13,000. And they said that they had to do an embalming because of the fact it was a holiday weekend and nobody was going to be around to do anything in any timely manner. And I'm like, well, that sucks. Because she didn't want to be, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna fight it. And so I had to take over. You have to have an outfit and all that good stuff. So I had to call her tomorrow. I have a question, and she's gonna be buried on Wednesday. And I just gotta. We're not having a funeral. We're not having a viewing. We're not having none of that. None of that. If people want to come and just be there when she actually gets buried, that's fine. Now, the fun begins with the legal stuff, wills and trust and all of that. Death certificates. You can't do anything out without a bunch of paperwork, and I get it. Anyway, that is it. I just wanted to kind of pop on here. I don't know if I will be doing videos consistently at the moment because of things that we have to take care of. I might pop in just to, you know, talk about how things go and what's involved a little bit when you have a trust. Is that better than a will? We're going to find out now. So it'll be interesting to find out how all this stuff works out. And it's a learning experience, that's for sure. Alrighty, well, I'm going to let you guys go. Y'all have a good night. Take care. I'll be on when I can be on. Bye.